Hello and welcome to this brief screencast on Excel, and what we're going to be doing in this brief small nugget size screencast is having a quick look at the ribbon, just the stuff we need for now, and look at the utilities that are up there, and then we'll be looking at how to add, rename tabs and how to reorder tabs, and then we'll be looking at how to create a basic budget spreadsheet and secure this to make sure no unauthorized people can look at it afterwards. As with any business, it'll likely be a case that you'll be needing to keep books, and more often as not you'll be using Excel to keep those books in. Excel, once you open it up, you'll see here, and if we come back when you've opened it up, you can open up new spreadsheets from here, and I'll also mention briefly you can open up any historical data you've got there as well, and this is a great new utility that Microsoft Office now offers. So you can actually see any historical files that you've had open and be able to more easily navigate to them. Once here, as you can see, you've got various options to adjust your font. Obviously, there's a bit of a slow thing here with activating that, but here we are. You can change your font as you will. You've got the usual ones down here. Arial and New Roman Times are probably the more common, which you'll see in here. There's Arial. You can select any of these at will and work with. Obviously, Excel will fire up with its defaults, so you'll probably want to change it to however you want to after. Here, you can adjust your font size accordingly, and obviously you've got the bold, italic and underline. And over here you've got the ability to copy, cut and paste. Format Painter is a very interesting and useful button. I'll show you that at some point in this video or after the class, because that is very useful indeed for keeping everything sort of looking consistent. So that is sheet 1, but sheet 1's not very informative, is it? So we can give it a more decent name than that. So right click on it, and then we can go to rename, or you can come down and double click, and again you can call it I'll call it, say, budget for, where are we now, we're in June, so I'm going to call that, or even just call it June budget. And then just simply click a well, hit enter, and that has been put in. And obviously, clearly, if you wanted to add another one in here, you could, because probably once you've created this, you're not going to want to do it again. So you might want to keep a template. In fact, you might even want to start off with a template and then maybe copy that across to the June budget. So why don't we move that across there? And all I've done there is I've just hovered the mouse over, and I've held down the left hand mouse button, and I have just dragged it across to the other side. It is that simple. If you've got it open, why don't you have a go at that now? Oh, sorry about that. That's just these seem to pop over from time to time. Right, so that's that in place then. We can move these around, and we can also add other tabs at will too. So this is our template, and what we want to probably do here is, many of us have money coming in and money coming out, and these days with modern technology it's probably a good idea and advisable to keep tabs of what we're spending. So here we can put in, say, I don't know, water, electric, broadband or internet, anything you might sort of spend on for a business, hosting. You might also be paying for software. I don't know of any particular thing in particular, so I'll just put software down, insurance, and these can all maybe come out sort of monthly. So what I put down here is maybe, I don't know, £47, quite cheap. Electric, I don't know, maybe £55. Broadband, ooh, throw a few figures at me. I'll say £40. Hosting, £30. I suppose I'm loosely going by my own sort of figures here. £50 for software. Insurance, shall we say, £35. Now, I tell you what I forgot to do is, if you right click on the first one here, just right click and then come down to format cells here. This lets you format the cells so that Excel knows what you're doing with it. Is it accounting? Are we dealing with numbers? So if we go for accounting for argument's sake, 2 decimal places, there we are, and let's put it into that for us. Will Format Painter copy that across, I wonder? Yes. How did I do that? Let's just go back and see. Let me hit the escape key to get back out of there. So obviously you just saw me do that, didn't you? I right clicked, and I went back into format cells. I went to accounting here under number. I went for 2 decimal places using the symbol pound sign. And there we are. And I've done it for now. Do I want to be doing that for every single other one? Do I want to come back down here and do it for that one, for that one, for that one? You know, in this day and age, do we need to? So if I click on the one I've formatted, double click on Format Painter, and I can go that, 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 that. Now, if I just want to do it once, just click on it once, boom, and then as soon as I format, it disappears. Isn't that cool? So there we have it. And if I want to see all the writing here, I'll come up between the B and the C and double click, and there we are. It now gives me all the words, so none of them are partially covered over, so like that, so I can't read them. So I'll come over, double click, and there it all is. Now what would be nice is that's what's coming out each month. So what would be nice now would be for me to have the total. So what I'm going to do, let me come back. How did I do that, Al? Click on the top one. So I've got that nicely boxed over, and then hold down the shift key, and then you can use the downward arrow, or you can scroll down with the mouse. And I'm going to come down to probably about the second box down below here. And then I'm going to come over here and click on auto sum up there. And that now gives me the sum and total of everything in there. Notice too, it's also kept the same format of the cell, so I don't have to go in and change that. So that now gives me the total, and I know it's correct because if I delete that out, it'll automatically adjust. And if you click on the undo arrow back here, these are great opportunities to get out and redo things. There's no real chance of breaking anything here unless your computer crashes. So you can undo here, redo here, and it's as simple as that. So this is the money that we've got coming out. So what money do we happen to have coming in then? So if we come over here, this is what's expected to pay, that we have to pay for, and that's going to be each month. I mean, also if you wanted to, you could jot down here the time of the month when these are coming out, so you can be all ready for them. But in the meantime, let's pop over here and maybe look at income, and you might have a contract that pays, or you might be expecting some money in for this month that pays, I don't know, shall we say £500? Oh, look, we need our, well, let's come back to that in a second. Let's get this set up, then I can format those cells after. And then you might, I don't know, have, let's say you might have child benefit in. I mean, I know we're talking business here, but just for simplicity, we might, I don't know, get, I don't know, £80 or something for that. And whatever other income you have got coming in there. And let's not forget over here, you might have rent. Yeah, $5.50 or something. That seems to be quite cheap. Whoop, not as cheap as that. So all I did to correct that was I just clicked straight the way back in, and oh, look, I'm running out of space. Oops, a daisy. So what do I do here then? I'm running out of space. I mean, if I put something else over here like shopping, and then come across and call it £35 a week, I've lost space. Well, what do I do? Oh, if I come across to the row here now, that's row 10, which is where the total is, right click and then go for insert, I can put cells in, and therefore I can continue to add to my spreadsheet without having to worry too much. And Excel's intelligent enough to still be able to sum these up. As you can see here, equal sum of C2, so that's the top row is the letter C, and then the top column is C, and then you got the row starting at 2, which is adding them all up all the way down to C9, and it will continue going down there if you want to add more data. So here we are, 842. So shall I be a bit more generous over here and say we're making a grand in terms of our contract money? There we go. So we're making £1,000 there, child benefit and whatever other things, child tax credit you might get in, shall we say? And that could be about, what, £3.50 a month? So there we go, that's our income. Doesn't look too bad now when you consider it. So if we do as we did before, so clicking into the top one there which is 1,000 and coming all the way down, I can then sum it as I did before. So what I did again was I clicked in the top cell there, I held down the shift key and the downward arrow button, and I scrolled all the way down as I did before. Then I hit auto sum, and that then gave me my total. So let me come back over here and tidy things up. Format painter again, please. Boom, boom. Oh, this looks funny. Oh, what we got all these hashtags there for? Simply because it's just gone off the radar. If I double click, you've got them back. It's just too many figures in there for it to show any figures, so it shows hashtags instead. You've not broken the spreadsheet, don't worry. So what I'd like to know overall is that's what I've got coming in, 1430, and that's what I've got going out, 842. So how much cash have I got left over? I mean, if I want to save something, if I want to make an investment into business, how much cash have I got left? And how much might I have to consider putting by? Well, that might be one for another video, but in the meantime, let's have a look. So what we have here then is total left over. There might be a fancier term. Let me double click that again just so we can see all of that. So how do we work it out then? Remember, before we have the sum formula here, we're going to use something similar to that. So I'm going to click into the cell and I'm going to type in up here so it appears up in the formula bar there, equals the sum of open brackets, and then we're looking at the income. So I'm going to click into where it's got the income totaled up there. Notice how that's automatically been populated. So F7 is where that figure is. And I want to subtract from F7 the total sum of C12. So I'm clicking into C12 and then I'm closing the brackets and I'm hitting enter. And bingo, £588 is what is left over after I've paid out all of that from all of that per month. So there we have it. Oh, what have I done here? I've put the template in with all the figures. I've in effect worked out this month's figures, haven't I? Is that going to change a lot, do you think, going forward? What I might like to do, though, is to take a copy of it. So I'm going to call this, rename it to template 2. Actually, no, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to delete that off because it's now surplus to requirements. So right click and then delete. There we go, gone. Pardon me. And I'm going to come back and I am going to move or copy, and I'm going to come down to create a copy, and I am going to keep it to the end there. Now you could here, if you want to, create another new book, which means it'll open it up in a new spreadsheet book for you, which might be handy if you need a copy of that to send to the accountants. But in my case, I just want it for my own knowledge. So I'm going to create a copy, and there it is. It has created template 2 for me. But that's not very explanatory to me. So I'm going to right click on template 2 or double click on template 2, and now it's highlighted it with a kind of a flashing cursor at the end. All I have to do now is simply type in June 2018, hit enter, and that is the June's figures. And what I might want to do as I go through is delete each of these off as I've paid them, so I can obviously know how much money I need in my bank account and how much I've got left over for other things. Doesn't look like an awful lot. But can we tidy it up a bit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Can we tidy it up a bit? I mean, for one thing, what we might be able to do, might be to put outgoings up there. And the cost, income and amount. There we go. We might want to, I don't know, shall we come across here? Right clicking on the number 1 cell there, tab, and then right click and then go insert. That puts an extra bit in there. Then what I could consider doing might be to come back, and I might want to put come up to here, and you see that there right next to the bold, italic and underline. That's the bottom border. You can basically format your table with that. So I've just put that around there like so. And what I'm going to do is hold down the left hand mouse button and scroll around and put another one in there like so. Makes it look a tiny tad more tidier. And so I've just scrolled over, click, hold down the left hand mouse button, scroll down. I'm actually using the mouse pad for this. I'm having to think from that point of view. Come in and use a slightly less heavy border and it's knocked out that, but don't worry, we can always come back to that. Notice how it helps change the way we do things. Doing the same thing here. Maybe put it all the way down. And Billy Bosh, I can come back and tidy that up and maybe put the turtle all the way down there. And what I'm going to do is come back here, because I've upset my table format slightly, and I'm going to put in a thick one there and tidy that up. And what I might do here is the same. There we are. So it's a bit tidier. There we go. And what I'm going to do here is Control and X from here and come down to the bottom cell and then paste it into there. And then down here, total income, and then total outgoings. And I'll probably will again double click that, and there we have it. And there's other things you can do here. I seem to have upset that. This is a bit temperamental. You probably are better working from the inwards and working out other ways. And what you could probably do as well is you could probably color code these if you wanted to. So we can come across here and label these or highlight as red to say they're going out, and come across here, highlighting again. So holding down the left hand mouse button and scrolling so we have that. Coming back over here and going for green, say. That's for income coming. Oh, I missed it. Highlight back over, come over to the bucket, and I shall select a colour, and you can select other colours here if you want to from the colour palette. But I'm going to go for, I'll tell you what, I'm going to pinch that one while I'm here. There we are. And bingo! And so what I've got here is a basic budget spreadsheet. Now, this has got advantages because I can come in and add to this, and it also helps me on a monthly basis to monitor my spending, know what's coming in, know what's going out, and know how much cash I need so I don't go in the red. And I can also put dates in here theoretically so I know when these are coming out. So if you're running a business, that can also help you. Now, you're not going to want just anybody to see this. So if you click on File and then Protect Your Worksheet there. So if I go back and click on the File menu at the top and then click on, it's under Info, Protect Workbook, I can put in a password into here. So encrypt it with the password, protect the structure, protect current worksheet. So I'm going to protect the current worksheet. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do is make it a bit simpler. Encrypt with a password. There we go. Just call it simple password at 2018 for argument's sake. Then click OK. So that asks you to enter it again. And then what will happen is we come back and we save that as. We're coming to the end now, so please bear with me. I'm just going to call that budget 2. So I've already got, actually I'm going to call it budget test because I have to keep one of these as well. And I'm going to, obviously I'm keeping it as an Excel workbook. And I'm going to save that. And so how do I know it's worked? So if I click off and I come back. And I then come back to budget test. It's asking me for the password, which I enter in as password at 2018 as I previously said, and Billy Bob, there it is. And that is protected so nobody else can go into that as well. So hopefully that has been informative for you. So what we've looked at here is looking at the brief overview of Excel. We've looked briefly at how to format the cells. We've looked at how to enter in values into a cell and how to enter in some figures and sum them up. We've also looked at how to use that data and create new tabs and reorder tabs. So I hope this has been informative for you, and thank you for watching.